हाय एवरीवन एंड वेलकम टू अनअकैडमी शोकेस। मेरा नाम है श्वेता अरोड़ा। आई होप आप में से बहुत सारे लोग जानते हैं कि मैं IIM अहमदाबाद से हूँ और आज मेरे साथ हैं सृष्टि जो कि IIM बैंगलोर से हैं और सिद्धांत जो कि IIM कलकत्ता से हैं। आज मैं होस्ट नहीं हूँ, आज मैं एक पार्टिसिपेंट हूँ क्योंकि हम IIM अहमदाबाद वर्सेस बैंगलोर वर्सेस कलकत्ता मोस्ट लाइकली फाइट नहीं करेंगे बट डिस्कस करेंगे कि हमारी कैंपस लाइफ कैसी रही है। मुझे ऐसा लग रहा है सुन के कि मैं फ्रेशर थी और आप वर्कएक्स वाले थे, तो हाउ इज इट ऑन योर कैंपस? बिकॉज हमारे कैंपस पे फ्रेशर्स काफी अच्छी परसेंटेज में होते हैं। 25% ऑफ आवर बैच वाज ऑफ फ्रेशर्स। How was the scene at B or C?
So I think IMB is famous for having people with WorkX. So I think they also offer 10 points for people who have more than 36 months of WorkX. And if you see on an average, IMB folks have greater than 2 years of work experience. So in a way, I feel that people who have WorkX bring a lot of diverse opinion and also bring their work experience when we are having those case studies discussion. And I think IMB is one of the only institute that gives a lot of importance to WorkX.
अहमदाबाद में थोड़ा बहुत है, not very heavy emphasis. That's why probably.
बैंगलोर में ज़्यादा है.
बैंगलोर में है.
Definitely more than other colleges. Lesser than ISB. लेकिन correct. C is in fact preferring more freshers, right? So in fact, when freshers are trying to get into one of the IIMs, so they have the highest probability of getting into C. That is what I have typically seen.
Okay.
In our batch, average years of experience was 13 months. Right, so with enough freshers out there and then the experienced folks also. For the more experienced folks, there is a concept of laterals on campus. They are able to, for the placement time, they are able to sit in that particular placement season.
I think laterals का criteria 2 years.
हाँ, correct.
2 years plus होता है.
So
correct.
For those of you who don't know what laterals are, basically जिनके पास 24 months से ज़्यादा का experience होता है, उनके लिए कुछ certain ऐसी companies आती हैं जो सिर्फ उनके लिए ही होती हैं. So basically others are not eligible to sit in them.
There's Amazon, there's Uber, there's TAS. There are a lot of companies which offer leadership roles.
And
correct.
some that come only in laterals.
Siddhant, you were mentioning Calcutta का admission criteria. So I remember कि Calcutta में marks की weightage भी I think 10th के marks की weightage थोड़ी कम होती है in comparison to the others. So ऐसा सुनने में आता है कि C थोड़ा liberating है that way.
Yeah, so C में importance of percentile is very high. As opposed to what I know, जैसे say in B. Right? So some of the friends that I know, they were like a 999. They were 10th में 90, 12th में 90 and a 9 pointer. Okay. Okay. So then it becomes easier for you to get into B, even if the percentile is a little less. In C, the way it works is कि if you are, there's a cutoff and that is generally some 99.7 or so. And then that helps you compensate even if you have a little less marks, say in 10th and 12th also. Yeah, apart from that, so you have the entire interview process.
Ahmedabad is also very similar, but हमारे कैंपस पे ये भी था कि diversity, especially जो आपका background है ना, education background, उस पर बहुत ही ज़्यादा emphasis था. So they had different academic categories, AC1 से लेके 6 तक. तो डॉक्टर्स को अलग से ट्रीट करना, नॉन इंजीनियर्स को अलग से, इंजीनियर्स को अलग से, एंड दे वर लाइक यू आर कंपीटिंग इन योर ओन पूल. ऐसा नहीं है कि इंजीनियर्स आर कंपीटिंग विद नॉन इंजीनियर्स, व्हिच इज प्रोबेबली व्हाई a non-engineer like me got into Ahmedabad at a much lower percentile in comparison to an engineer.
In our campus, 96% were engineers. So
हमारे
में diversity थोड़ी सी.
I think the highest is for C.
Possibly.
That's why they say quant heavy है थोड़ा.
Quant heavy है. Even say when you're talking about the admission criteria, right? So interview process maybe they will ask maths also.
Oh, they did to me also. They did. So I remember in my Calcutta interview there were many questions from economics. So I studied economics as an elective undergrad में. Many questions from economics as well as from math. Guys, अगर आप में से भी कोई CAT 2024 की तैयारी कर रहा है, then Unacademy has curated, like उनके top educators ने मिलके एक टेस्ट सीरीज बनाई है जिसमें सारे फुल लेंथ मॉक टेस्ट होंगे. हर चैप्टर के लिए आपको टॉपिक टेस्ट भी मिल जाएंगे, तो उससे आप काफी अच्छी तरह से हर सेक्शन की तैयारी कर सकते हो. इसकी जो कंप्लीट डिटेल्स है वो आपको डिस्क्रिप्शन में मिल जाएंगी, तो उसे जरूर चेक करना. हाउ वर योर इंटरव्यू एक्सपीरियंसेस? Like what all calls did you have? So I had mostly all IIM calls and I converted all except Bangalore. They didn't take me.
I think my best shortlist was IMB. and I could convert that, so I'm lucky in that way. And I would say the chillest interview would be IIM Bangalore. There will be 3 professors and 1 alumni who would be your panelist, and they are super chill when they're asking you questions. They just want to know more about you. They're not doing any grilling.
Generally what I've seen is कि बहुत ज़्यादा vary करता है. Someone I know had a very grilling experience in B's interview also. In terms of calls, I had A, C, L, I, K. B नहीं था. I was not a 9-pointer, so मेरे तो B नहीं था. Interviews wise, I felt कि मेरा A बहुत अच्छा गया था. A लेकिन मेरा हुआ नहीं. And I felt कि C इतना अच्छा नहीं गया. ठीक गया है. And C में they release an list also of the people in order, so I was 16th in terms of getting into it. तो ना अच्छे जाके भी I ultimately ended up getting in. So like वो पता नहीं चलता, मुझे तो लगता है कि experience से what is clicking, what is not clicking, what is the exact thing that they are checking for. The only thing you can do is give your best and then hope for the best.
ये जो था ना, पता नहीं लगता है. I can relate with it so much. So A, B, C. I thought A definite rejection, B maybe, and C पक्का हो जाएगा. So in C I was waitlisted, in B I was rejected, and in A I got through. So it's like totally unexpected that way. So I think अहमदाबाद पहुंचने की तैयारी के टाइम पे मुझे जो चीज़ सबसे ज़्यादा हेल्प की थी वो कैंपस का वही मोटिवेशन ही था कि मुझे जाना है, मुझे यहाँ पढ़ना है. So I think something that really helped me was having a very clear motivation and then a clear purpose also. Like marketing में जाना है and Ahmedabad is known for marketing. So I think especially videos like these help you a lot जब आपको पहले से पता हो कि आप क्यों जा रहे हो.
मेरे केस में I think such video guidance तो नहीं थी. I don't know if it existed that point of time or not. But for me there were few relatives who had got into IIM, and I knew that you build a lot of networking capabilities and you get to understand the business point of view, which you don't when you're doing a job. Okay, because my percentile at that point of time when I cracked was 97, and being a general candidate and getting into IMP at 97 was considered कि शायद नहीं हो पाएगा. But I was like कि मेरे 999 तो हैं, अब इसको मैं कैसे crack करूँ, and I have to give my best to crack the interview. So I reached out to all different possible people who could help me and make me understand कि IIM Bangalore is all about SOP. Whatever you write in your SOP, you have to be very thorough about it, and you should have an opinion about each thing. So I think that really helped me surface through the interview process also, because I was an air traffic controller. They were very interested in that, and half of my interview revolved around ATC, and half of the interview revolved around my personality and the SOP that I had written.
Interview में you don't really know कि क्या पूछा जाएगा, especially because every campus has its own set of things, right? And they could be asking your undergrad kind of subject, they could be asking the political affairs, they could be asking anything under some arbitrary
anything
question,
anything
under the sun, right?
Correct.
And then you need to prepare for group discussion also, which can be also any topic. In C, they asked me, they asked some maths. They asked me के form में, then they asked me कि what has been your story like. So that is something that they are generally interested in कि where have you been, what you want to get to, and how MBA is helping you in that process. So that was something that I prepared for and helped me also build some clarity in life.
Hearing you guys mentioning spikes, इसको spikes बोलते हैं ना कि
Spikes,
कुछ अलग
yeah,
है,
correct.
हाँ, कि कुछ अलग है आप पे, तो वो
Correct.
पूछेंगे. तो मैंने ये सब ना चीज़ें पढ़ी हुई थी पहले कोरा वगैरह पे कि अच्छा ऐसे होता है इंटरव्यू में, कुछ ना कुछ स्पाइक लेके जानी होती है. तो मैंने कैलकटा के लिए, मैंने सभी के लिए किया था, बट कैलकटा के इंटरव्यूज बहुत स्मार्ट होते हैं. तो वो लोग ऐसे ना मेरे को मेरा स्पाइक मेंशन नहीं कर देते. तो आई वाज अ फ्रेशर, मेरे पास कोई अलग स्पाइक तो होएगा नहीं वर्क एक्साइट. तो फ्रेशर थी, एक तो एकेडमिक क्वेश्चंस तो पूछेंगे, वो भी बीकॉम ऑनर्स, तो बेसिक चीज़ें है ना. तो मैंने स्पाइक बिल्ड किया मार्केटिंग के अराउंड कि मुझे मार्केटिंग पे पूछो. मेरे को बहुत मजा आता था कोरा पे मार्केटिंग एडवर्टाइजिंग के ऊपर लिखने का.
बट वो पूछ नहीं रहे थे.
एग्जैक्टली. पता है मैंने हर इंट्रोडक्शन के एंड पे बोला, उन्होंने मुझे पूछा क्या क्या चीजें इंटरेस्टिंग लगती हैं, मैंने फिर बोला मार्केटिंग के अराउंड. मुझे उन्होंने तीसरे क्वेश्चन पे ही बोल दिया, कहते तुम तो ये प्रिपेयर करके आई हो. लाइक मार्केटिंग तो हम पूछेंगे,
ये नहीं पूछेंगे.
एंड दे लिटरली डिड नॉट आस्क मी. वो मैं बोलने की भी कोशिश करती, मेरे मुंह से मार्केटिंग निकलता ही नहीं था भी पूरा कि लाइक चेंज ये नहीं पूछेंगे इसको. एंड देन फाइनली व्हेन द इंटरव्यू एंडेड, तो उन्होंने पूछा कि अच्छा तुम्हारी फेवरेट बुक कौन सी है. तो मैं बोल के आई ओगिलवी ऑन एडवर्टाइजिंग. मैं तो बोल के ही जाऊंगी. आई वुड डेफिनेटली वांट टू नो मोर अबाउट द लाइफ ऑन कैंपस आल्सो, बिकॉज टू बी वेरी ऑनेस्ट 2 स्टेट्स देखने के बाद
मेरे को
करेक्ट.
people who are watching me, they'll be like, ये मैडम को तो 2 states भूलती नहीं है. Even on my own channel, I keep mentioning it. So the campus that was shown in the movie, वो vibe इतनी अलग थी, and I was expecting. It was like I was eagerly waiting to get into A. To be very honest, the campus looks even more beautiful in person. I've heard a lot of things about B and especially about C because of the lake. So I want to know how your campus vibe and all is.
So I think where there's 2 states for A, there is 3 Idiots for I Am Bangalore.
There's nothing for C now.
Unfortunately.
So
In the making.
I think I Am Bangalore में campus vibe is not very studious. We have football ground, we have cricket ground, we have badminton, and I mean, you're running here and there. Basically, you're trying to chase things, and you have to prioritize कि तुम्हें पढ़ना है या तुम्हें खेलना है.
One thing that I was thinking from the sports facilities that you were mentioning, right? When I was coming over here and thinking about A and B, and I realized A and B have better sports facilities than Calcutta. Somehow when we went there, so say for sports meet and all, तो वहाँ पे squash court अच्छा था and football field and all. Something that Calcutta I felt is a little lagging in.
You should see it, Abhi. I recently went on campus. They've rebuilt it.
Achha, is
there's a
A or
brand
C?
new A.
Okay.
Like, it's a brand new sports complex and it's amazing.
Achha,
Like they have swimming pool and everything now.
Now that we're talking about swimming pool, we can talk about extracurriculars also. Like कि हमारे में extracurriculars में first 6 months में तो you don't get a lot of time, right? लेकिन after that is when the activity you have time, you can start spending on other things also. So there were sections and societies. That is one thing that people end up spending time on. जिसमें consulting club, choreo club, ये सारे आने लग जाते हैं, right? But after that, there are new things that people are continuously trying to figure out what else they could be spending time on.
So I think there's this word, I think all of us have heard, FOMO. So fear of missing out, and वो बहुत ज़्यादा होता है B school में. So when we join a B school, I think the seniors are there to guide us, which club to join, what to do, what not to do. But then the first 6 months are where the stress is the highest, but then later you actually understand where you want to be. Because I think when you graduate, you have 4 years to explore with your friends. But in an MBA, you have 2 years and you really want to do everything. So you want to do even the debating, you want to do the dancing, you want to do the sports, you want to do the best in academics, and you have the placement. You have so much to explore in your B school.
हमारे में ना extracurriculars में in fact I was saying कि पहले 6 months time नहीं होता, लेकिन there are a lot of things that they want you to do in the first 6 months also still, right? So we have this societies and all जिसके लिए audition होने लग जाते हैं. Then there is the concept of a inter-hostel competition also. It's called World War, where every hostel is pegged against each other, and there are some competitions that are put, rope pulling and some tire taking out from the entire.
It's like
thing.
a team building activity.
हाँ, it's a team building activity जिसमें during the event itself, which is 3-4 days के range में, people end up being rivals against each other, but at the end of it, whenever one hostel is decided as the winner, but the entire campus comes together and they cheer for the entire campus, joka itself, right? So
अलग-अलग clubs and committees को join करने के लिए आपको एक सुबह अर्ली मॉर्निंग उठ के भागना पड़ता है कैंपस पे, एंड देन यू हैव टू गो टू ईच रिप्रेजेंटेटिव्स डॉर्म. उनके बाहर उन्होंने बॉक्स रखा होगा, यू हैव टू फिल अप द फॉर्म, सबमिट इट देयर, एंड देयर इज अ लिमिटेड टाइम टू डू दैट. तो आपको एक तरह से गणित लगानी पड़ती है कि मैंने कहाँ अप्लाई करना है, कहाँ पे नहीं करना. और हमारे सीनियर्स सुबह उठ के इतना लाउड म्यूजिक प्ले करते हैं. क्या था, भाग के बोस भाई साहब पूरे कैंपस पे भाग रहे होते हैं सब लोग, एंड देन दे मेक अस लाइक डू दैट वॉक. पता नहीं what is it called, but like everyone walks back to their dorms, like everyone is running around, and the PGP2s, like the second years, they are enjoying it thoroughly. And हमने जब अपने junior batch का किया था तो बहुत मजा आया था.
ये सब हमारे लिए कौन का पार्ट था?
But हमारा अहमदाबाद academics के लिए जाना चाहता था. A for academics.
So A में the one thing that I know is कि there is an exam that happens almost every day.
Yes.
At 1:45 PM you get to know what is the exam.
Every day.
Even if now when you mention 1:45, I get those chills कि हे भगवान quiz तो नहीं है. It's called a surprise quiz. And होता क्या है कि हमारी मेस के बाहर एक बोर्ड लगा होता है.
Okay.
At 1:45 exactly, there's a person. He comes and he puts up a sheet which mentions कि कौन सा quiz होगा, कौन से subject का होगा. And sometimes and there's like a crowd around it. Everyone is waiting कौन सा. जैसे ही पता लगता है WhatsApp groups पे message आ जाते हैं. And after some time there's also an email that comes. So everyone gets to know that there's a quiz, but वो एक अलग vibe होती है कि सब मेस के पास इकट्ठे हैं 144, 145 ये वाला quiz and you get
At what time? 2 o'clock, 2:50.
Yeah, I mean you have
Yeah.
only like around
15
let's say
minutes.
max half an hour to prepare.
You have it every day.
Almost like on some days it doesn't happen and the best part is जब नहीं होता है तो जो खुशी होती है ना so वो जो person है ना जो लगाने आता है मेरे को अभी भी याद है एक बार हम लोग वेट कर रहे हैं and वो भी बहुत शैतान थे वो जानबूझ के ऐसा करते थे वो दूर से चल के आ रहे हैं and like we are waiting and उन्होंने हाथ में कोई पेपर भी पकड़ रखा है we are scared पता नहीं कौन सा quiz है and then he just moves past and then he comes back like he also used to pull our leg कि अच्छा
So yeah, this तो clearly says कि A stands for Ahmedabad in academics. True, right? What about CA? Is it chill?
Yeah, not as bad for sure. First 6 months, yes, but mostly because there are multiple things to manage at that point in time, right? CV, job placement, and all those kind of things. But after that, after the summer placement, it becomes much more manageable for the people. And one of the best parts, at least for Calcutta that I know, is that after the first year, your CGPA gets logged. Okay. So then in the second year I have not seen a lot of people studying right because then your CGPA in the second year is in any case not going to be considered for the finals placement.
No, for placement value or for for going abroad exchange program?
No, for placement value, right? You just need to put your first year CGPA, your
This is not
institute
for us.
rankers
Not
are
at all
defined.
for us.
Yeah, so that's why second year is even
Chill.
more chill.
it definitely is chill there.
How is it for B? How are you guys placed?
I think B will mean balance. So I think Bangalore is all about academics at an extent, but then you have a lot of things to do while preparing for placements. Overall, I would say the stress level is not as high as Ahmedabad, but there are days where, especially I would say the first 2 sems are very difficult.
How is second year compared to the first
Second
year?
year
Same.
is chiller than the first. But there is a lot of pressure for the exchange program, and then you have the placements, the laterals. So IIM Bangalore is, they get all kinds of roles, all kinds of companies, but majority it is consulting driven and followed by leadership program roles like TAS, ABG. There are also a lot of fin and investment banking companies that come in IIM Bangalore. But generally, IIM Bangalore is more sought for consulting. I got into Amazon through the leadership program, but overall, if you see, the majority that is placed is in consulting.
हमारे I think consulting and sales and marketing, finance थोड़ा सा कम है.
Generally for our placement, it's a 3-day affair that happens, जिसमें day 0 पे finance and consulting आ जाते हैं. I think the placement process is
Day
same
-1 ना?
for all
wait,
of you guys.
correct.
हाँ, -1 पे तो interviews हो जाते हैं. Day 0 पे ही finally जाके
have to
offers सारे roll out
roll
होते
out होता
हैं. And it's a 3-day affair
Same.
जिसमें day 1 पे सारी finance and consulting companies आती हैं. उसमें हमारा finance definitely ज़्यादा होता है. And I feel that is mostly because हमारा alumni over a period of time finance companies में जाते गए हैं, तो फिर then they pull those companies also to campus.
So what's the average? What's the average
So
CTC?
हमारे batchmate was around 28.
Okay.
And like most of the people in the batch actually go after consulting, like you're mentioning ना हमारे consulting का बहुत ज़्यादा वो
Craze है.
herd mentality, I would say craze in the sense many people don't even know where they want to be, so इसलिए they run after consulting because वो then avenues खुल जाते हैं, you know, you can like exit options इतने ज़्यादा होते हैं.
What's interesting is generally लोग MBA आते हैं to figure out कि क्या करना
करना
है.
है.
2 साल बाद भी they are not figured it out.
अहमदाबाद एक्चुअली प्रोडक्ट के लिए भी काफी जाना जाता है. सो माइक्रोसॉफ्ट एंड ऑल, हमारे स्प्रिंकलर, मेनी कंपनीज कम फॉर प्रोडक्ट रोल्स एंड देयर आर पीपल जो स्पेसिफिकली प्रोडक्ट में ही जाना चाहते हैं. वो बैठते ही नहीं है ना कंसल्टिंग में.
आई थिंक वो हमारे बैच से शुरू हुआ है,
हाँ,
फ्रॉम आवर
correct.
बैच, कि प्रोडक्ट की तरफ ज़्यादा पिवट हो रहा है एज
Correct.
कंपेयर टू प्रीवियस
Correct.
बैचेस.
Correct. हमारे
And
time नहीं.
I think product also offers you a balance.
True.
It gives the best of both worlds. So I think a lot of people are going after product nowadays.
हमारे टाइम पे इनफैक्ट PEs VCs भी नहीं आते थे, which I have heard in recent times have started coming to campus and picking up one or two folks from the campus as
अहमदाबाद
well,
में आता है
right? लेकिन हमारे टाइम पे जैसे 3 days का प्लेसमेंट दैट आई वाज टॉकिंग अबाउट, तो 3 दिन में पूरी 100% हो जाती थी. अभी इट डज नॉट सीम टू बी हैपनिंग, एंड आई थिंक इट्स लार्जली डिपेंड ऑन द मैक्रो ऑल्सो. आज की डेट में मैक्रो इज बैड, तो it's taking time.
It started happening when we graduated. So मैं कोविड बैच से जस्ट पहले थी, 2020 में ग्रेजुएट हुई थी एंड हम लोग को भागना पड़ा था, so we didn't have convocation. We actually had our convocation last year only.
Oh, is it? अच्छा.
Yeah,
Even us.
So वो सीन था एंड हमारे बैच में भी लाइक लास्ट में आते हुए जो लास्ट फ्यू रह गए थे उनका प्लेसमेंट थोड़ा सा स्ट्रगल पीरियड था, बट वी गॉट एवरीवन प्लेस्ड 100% था. बट हमारे से बाद के बैचेस ने थोड़ा सा स्ट्रगल किया है. उनको ऑफर्स जरूर रोल आउट हुए हैं बट काफ़ी उनके रिवोक भी हुए हैं. लाइक ऐसा सीन सुनने में आया था. हमारा बैच तो सफ़र नहीं किया बट जैसे नेक्स्ट बैच किया था. बट सृष्टि, बिकॉज यू वर फ्रॉम 2021 ना, सो हाउ वाज योर एवरेज सीटीसी उस टाइम पे क्या था?
So I think average CTC at that point of time was 29 or 30, and the batch did not suffer in terms of placement, but we did see deferment. We did see offers being rolled out,
And then
revoked, rolled back for roles which were abroad based, say Dubai or US based, because the recession was experienced more there as compared to India.
That was the first batch when I heard कि these kind of things also happen.
Yeah, we were
हमारे
the
टाइम
first
में
batch.
in 2017 ऑफर होता था तो फिर होता था, ऐसा नहीं होता था कि
तो उस टाइम कोविड ही नहीं था ना.
yeah, revoke was something that was. हाँ, लेकिन the ones who will join now will sit for placement say 2 years down the line, and hopefully situation will be better. On the CTC point, so for us it was roughly 20, but I think that
At
was
that
also
point
a
of time.
function of 2017 versus generally I've seen salaries increase a lot, right? So what was 20 at that time would have become 30 by
Correct.
now on
Correct.
an average.
So in your batch, like I genuinely want to know because 7 years हो चुके हैं ना, so अभी ऐसा देखने को मिलता है लोग बहुत सारे स्टार्टअप्स ज्वाइन कर रहे हैं, अनकन्वेंशनल चीजें कर रहे हैं, इनफैक्ट जैसे कंटेंट क्रिएटर्स बन रहे हैं, इन्फ्लुएंसर्स बन रहे हैं. So how was it during your time? Like तब सब कॉर्पोरेट में ही जाते थे, and also how does Alumni Network help in that case?
हाँ, so your time पे ना ऐसा लगता है कि बहुत पुराना.
Makes you feel old.
Very old. First time I'm having this kind of conversation. Like, yeah, but honestly, I did not know a lot of people taking the unconventional path at that time. Mostly people were sitting in placements. Placements were around finance, finance, consulting and marketing in big companies. Startups were beginning to be the craze at that point in time, right? But now, when I say as a person hiring also in my company, I talk to the people just graduating from campus. I have seen the vibe change completely, right? Startup exposure is much higher and all. So people in right now are preferring to go into startup roles also.
I think the advantage that IIM Bangalore has is that it is based out of Bangalore. So it's a startup hub, and we used to get a lot of startup founders anyway coming to our campus.
I think this alumni network is the single biggest advantage that one gets after joining an IIM, right? I have so many times reached out to folks who were from say IMC
Correct.
for some kind of help and support, and never have I ever been turned down, right? Always willing to help.
So coming from a content perspective, कई बार ऐसे होता है that कोई क्वेश्चन आ गया चैनल पे, somebody wants to know something about let's say product and मेरे को product का knowledge नहीं है, so then I'll reach out to an alum who's working in a product role in a, like let's say Flipkart में कोई काम कर रहा है, and they're so supportive, like they guide, proper resources share करते हैं. It's a beautiful thing कि आपके alums होने चाहिए. And you know, it's not only कि content creation में है, you look at any field, like हमारे इतने सारे startups, people have been following their passion. जितने भी हमारे बैच से graduate हो रहे हैं, I know someone who started his own coffee के around venture because
I
they were
think
very
Ditto is
interested.
also from IIM.
Yes, so Ditto is there, and like वो FinShot से start हुए थे, and then अभी हमारे बैच में एक लड़का है, he started his own venture, and the person he married from campus now is a part of the like the startup. So बहुत सारे लोग team up करते हैं, co-founders मिल जाते हैं उनको बैच में, so मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगता है ये चीज़ कि
Marriage
हमारे
prospects भी मिल जाते हैं.
correct, so that too.
We can talk about that.
नहीं. And I think that's the biggest resource even when you're switching. So जैसे अगर आपको job चाहिए, the first thing you would do is you'll look up LinkedIn पे, you'll type the name of the campus, IIM Ahmedabad, बार, and then सामने कंपनी का नाम Flipkart. You'll see a bunch of people you can reach out to for a referral and to know the culture, क्या range रहता है salary का and all. So helps a lot that way. तो जैसे प्रॉक्सी वगैरह नहीं इतना लगाने देते और क्लासेस लगानी ही पड़ती थी तो वैसा।
IIM Bangalore is 8 because हमारे यहाँ पे बहुत ज़्यादा strictness है in terms of exams, in terms of reporting on time. Even if you're 2 minutes late, sacrosanct, you are out of the class.
Yeah, 4.
4?
Yeah, because it wasn't as bad for us, where even say attendance criteria was 75%, but I have heard that it has increased over time, so now it would be like 6-7.
I think first term में या even like first week में it's probably 12 out of 10 and then उसके बाद धीरे धीरे कम होता रहता है. Second year में तो it's like 5 or 4 or maybe 3.
Nothing different. I think stress level is the max peak is during the first 2 sems, and post that it becomes chill. At least we take it chill.
First 2 trimesters and the last trimester also, right? Whenever the
Placement
thing comes in, tab it becomes stressful, and I think at that time the stress level is same across all 3 campuses.
Maybe we get used to it.
Yeah.
है ना, जब शुरू में आता है तो we feel the stress is so much, but I think over the year we get used to it कि होता रहेगा stress.
Yeah, more mature.
Mature.
I would say 9. Like people are very happy with the placements. थोड़े बहुत लोग होते हैं जो of course disappointed होते हैं कि हमें जो चाहिए था वो नहीं मिला. But then I've seen that after let's say 5 years or so, they ultimately get into the field that they always wanted.
So if I have to rate placement season, I would say that it would be 8.5 out of 10.
Yeah, I think it's same across all campuses. Campus placement wise, some always end up losing out, but overall generally almost everyone gets placed, right? And ultimately we can look at MBA as a stepping stone. Ki whatever you were before, you would end up becoming say 2x, 3x of that.
Guys, I think बहुत ही सही discussion थी because audience को तो जो मजे आए होंगे, but मुझे B और C के बारे में इतना नहीं पता था, like सुना ही था, and I'm glad कि हमने लड़ाई भी नहीं की, but it was a very fruitful discussion I feel, and in general I think A versus B versus C का जो choice होता है, लोगों को confusion होती है, this will definitely help them, solve for it. And guys, if you have any other questions about A versus B versus C, आप चाहते हो कि और कोई ऐसे colleges के बीच में भी हम fight करवाएं, then you should definitely comment कि कौन से colleges में आप ऐसा देखना चाहोगे, so that Unacademy Showcase channel पे और हम ऐसे podcast लेके आते रहें. If you like the video, then definitely press the thumbs up button और subscribe कर लो channel को, so that जैसे ही next video upload होती है आप देखना और अपने सारे friends के साथ share करना, खास तौर से जो ABC में पढ़ रहे हैं, ताकि वो आके comment करें कि A best है, B best है या C best है. Thank you so much for watching this guys, and see you the next time.